A book can take you anywhere. Turn the pages and you'll be there. Come on, join us, you'll see. We're reading with Carylee.
Hi, and thank you for joining us for another Read with Carylee show at home. We are still bringing you authors from around the world and across the United States. You know what? We figured that we will not stop just because we may have lifted some restrictions right now, because we want to bring you the best authors that we could find. And today we are going across the United States again to Dr. Dawn Menge, our guest for today, who is reading Queen Vernita's Visitors.
Queen Vernita.
So Dr. Dawn Menge, where exactly across the United States and California are you reading to us from?
I live in Southern California in a small mountain community called Brentwood.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being able to visit with us today. And we want to hear more about Queen Victoria's Visitors. So, I'm sorry, I keep on saying Queen Victoria. I must have Queen Victoria on the brain. Queen Vernita's Visitors. So, let's dive into that story. Dr. Dawn Menge, take it away.
Vernita was the queen of the majestic world called Oceaneer. She lived in a beautiful castle that was covered in ivy and red roses. Vernita loved being the queen, but she missed all of her friends from the land of quails. She hadn't seen them in such a long time. Queen Vernita looked at her calendar to see how long it had been. She counted 1 January, 2 February, 3 March, 4 April, 5 May, 6 June, 7 July, 8 August, 9 September, 10 October, 11 November, and 12 December. It has been 1 whole year since I have seen my friends. Queen Vernita decided to invite a friend to come and visit her during each month of the year. That night, Queen Vernita wrote 12 invitations to her 12 friends. In January, she invited Debbie. Debbie stayed from January 1st to January 31st. Queen Vernita loved her visit with Debbie. On Mondays, they played Jolly Jump Rope. On Tuesdays, they played Juggling Jacks. On Wednesdays, they played Foursquare. On Thursdays, they watched marvelous movies. On Fridays, they popped pumpernickel popcorn. On Saturdays, they went for long walks around the castle. On Sundays, they stayed home and read 3 books. In February, Tommy came to visit. On Mondays, they played catch with Tommy's old worn gloves. On Tuesdays, they played school and practiced writing their ABCs in cursive. On Wednesdays, they watched movies and ate popcorn. On Thursdays, they rode on their sleds down the big hill behind the castle. On Fridays, they had a huge snowball fight. On Saturdays, they made beautiful snow angels. On Sundays, they laid by the fireplace and took long naps, snoring loudly. Tommy stayed for only 28 days because this year was not a leap year. In March, Dana came to visit. She stayed for all 31 days and brought her 7 favorite board games. Queen Vernita and Dana played a new one each day of the week. On Mondays, they played Monster Bash. On Tuesdays, they played Twisted Twisty. On Wednesdays, they played Wiggle Free. On Thursdays, they played Think It Through. On Fridays, they played Freeze Machine. On Saturdays, they played Sink the Ball. On Sundays, they played Sour Grapes. In April, spring brought warmer weather and Kale with his dog, Scrappers. Queen Vernita loved playing with Kale and his dog. She played with him all 30 days of April, even during the April showers. On Mondays, they played Belly Ball. On Tuesdays, they played Catch the Tail. On Wednesdays, they chased Scrappers the dog around the castle. On Thursdays, they skipped around the castle. On Fridays, they stayed inside and played Jester's wild card game. On Saturdays, they went into town to play miniature golf. On Sundays, they dug carrots out of the garden. In the month of May, Jeremy came. He loved to see all of the flowers that the April showers brought. They picked flowers for all of the 31 days of May. On Mondays, they picked Mary Marigolds. On Tuesdays, they picked tiny tulips. On Wednesdays, they picked wild wedding bells. On Thursdays, they picked thorny thistles. On Fridays, they picked the freshest Jeremy had ever seen. On Saturdays, they picked sunny sunflowers. On Sundays, they picked shiny shellflowers. Jeremy had so many flowers, he could hardly get them all home. June was the beginning of summer, and that's when Wesley came to visit the land of ocean air. Queen Vernita and Wesley had a great time playing in the summer sun. On Mondays, they climbed the big pine tree outside. On Tuesdays, they went for a drive in the countryside. On Wednesdays, they painted pictures about their favorite activity of the week. On Thursdays, they slept outside and gazed at the stars. On Fridays, they went cosmic bowling. On Saturdays, they went to listen to music at the park. On Sundays, they enjoyed yummy ice cream sundaes. Queen Vernita and Wesley thought that all 30 days of June were enchanting. When July came, so did Ashley. They decided to explore the beautiful white sands of Oceaneers Beach. The girls had a wonderful time playing on the beach. On Mondays, they built enormous sandcastles. On Tuesdays, they played frisbee in the waves. On Wednesdays, they boogie boarded. On Thursdays, they walked on the pier. On Fridays, they ate fried fish tacos. On Saturdays, they collected sticky starfish. On Sundays, they just lay in the sun and got a suntan. Queen Vernita and Ashley had 31 glorious days of July to spend lounging at the Oceaneers Beach. Queen Vernita was sad to see Ashley go. Then came August, and Hannah came to visit. August is a very hot time in the land of Oceaneers. They decided to go to the mountains and go camping for the 31 hot days of August. They had so much fun exploring the mountains. On Mondays, they went hiking. On Tuesdays, they fished in the stream. On Wednesdays, they slept outside of their tents so they could count all of the stars. On Thursdays, they went for a walk in the nature trail. On Fridays, they collected pine cones. On Saturday nights, they made a campfire and cooked s'mores. They were so gooey and yummy, made of marshmallows, graham crackers, and chocolate. On Sundays, they sat and listened to the sounds of the forest. I love camping in the forests of Oceaneers. I can't wait to come back next year, said Hannah. I am having a great time too. I will count all 12 months until we can do this again, replied Queen Vernita. As the season of summer left, fall came. Along with the changing of the leaves' colors came Virginia. September is apple picking time. For the whole 30 days, they picked apples and made delicious smelling food for all of the village people. On Mondays, they made apple pie. On Tuesdays, they made apple tarts. On Wednesdays, they ate applesauce. On Thursdays, they ate the apples right off of the trees. On Fridays, they made apple fritters. On Saturdays, they made baked apples. On Sundays, they made cinnamon apple cakes. On the 30th day of September, the whole village gathered to say goodbye to Virginia. We will miss your wonderful apple desserts. We will count all 12 months until you return, they chanted. In October, the days became shorter and all the leaves had changed colors. They were bright orange, yellow, red, brown, and purple. Mike brought with him a big bag. I want to pick pumpkins, make pumpkin pie, pumpkin seeds, and jack-o'-lanterns, and collect lots of beautiful leaves. That sounds great, Mike, Queen Vernita said. So they did just that. On Mondays, they picked pumpkins. On Tuesdays, they made pumpkin pies. On Wednesdays, they made pumpkin seeds. On Thursdays, they made jack-o'-lanterns. On Fridays, they collected orange and red leaves. On Saturdays, they collected yellow and brown leaves. On Sundays, they collected purple leaves. At the end of the 31 days of October, Mike gathered all of his fall collections to take back to his family. I will see you again in 1 year, Queen Vernita. That is 12 short months away. In November, the village of Oceaneers celebrates turkeys. For the whole 30 days, they eat nothing but turkey meals for dinner. Nicole was so excited. This was her month to visit Queen Vernita, and she loved turkey. So on Mondays, they ate turkey pot pies. On Tuesdays, they ate turkey with mashed potatoes. On Wednesdays, they ate hot turkey sandwiches. On Thursdays, they ate turkey with cranberries. On Fridays, they ate cold turkey sandwiches. On Saturdays, they ate turkey soup. On Sundays, they ate a big feast with the entire village. Everyone brought their favorite turkey dish. December was the last month of the year and the beginning of the season of winter. Tyler Ann was Queen Vernita's last visitor of the year. She stayed for all 31 days of December. They did lots of fun things during their visit. On Mondays, they raked all of the leaves. On Tuesdays, they sat by the fireplace. Queen Vernita and Tyler Ann looked out the big picture window and watched the falling snow. On Wednesdays, they strung popcorn on string for the birds. On Thursdays, they made crunchy caramel cookies. On Fridays, they went to see all of the sparkling Christmas lights. On Saturdays, they wrapped Christmas presents with big, bright bows. On Sundays, they sang cheery Christmas carols. Tyler Ann stayed until the end of the year. On January 1st, she wished Queen Vernita a happy new year and packed her bags. As Queen Vernita watched Tyler Ann drive away from her beautiful castle, she could see in the distance that her wonderful friend Debbie was on her way for her month-long visit. I am so glad that I have 12 great friends to come and visit me on each of the 12 months of the year, said Queen Vernita as she walked up to greet Debbie. And that is Queen Vernita's visitors.
Well, Dr. Menge, I must say, with when you were coming to the last few months of the year, I was getting hungry. I love the apple pies and the apple fritters and the pumpkin and yeah, that and the turkey. I perked up when he said turkey soup. Yeah. So that was, definitely an adventure through the months of the year and a great story for children. So what was your inspiration for writing this book? And well, I know that you have a series, but especially this book, what was your inspiration for that?
Well, the series started actually in a class. I teach students with severe cognitive delays. I have a PhD in curriculum instruction, and the original story came from a math class I was taking while I was getting my credential. We had to write a book and make a game for it. So the original story had my students in it. And we actually traveled around to different schools and did little short skits, and so that other people could learn about our students. And then I would go back the next day and explain their behaviors or what was going on. So that's how it started. And then when I decided I wanted to publish it, I put my family in it. So I changed. It actually used to be called Queen Victoria because my student's name was Victoria.
Okay.
But when I published it, I turned it into my family. So Vernita was my grandmother. She's a world traveler and an inspiration for me. And so everybody in the book here, they were the children in our family. I figured, they're not going to complain. They're not even going to know because I published this in 2008. Now they're all grown. So that's how it started. So I immediately started getting interviews and winning awards. And people started asking me, well, what's your next book? I'm like, well, that was it. I was done. So I decided, since I love to travel, I got that from my grandmother, my mother, my dad, that the queen would travel around her kingdom and learn about her kingdom. So I'm just now publishing the 10th one in the series. It's won 41 awards so far.
Wow.
This is the one I published last year. This is on Kona Island, and the queen visits. I have some friends that live in Kona, and I have 2 books based on them. This was like my 3rd book, I think. And each month is a new friend and a new adventure. She swims with sharks. She learns about seahorses, all sorts of things. This one has my student in it. His name was Connor, and his dad, and he had autism. So he's teaching the queen how to use his communication device. So each book has the same format, a month, 7 days to learn 7 facts about that subject. And it's just a catalyst to go learn about something different. So if you like the page about the Volcanic National Park, you can go there or go learn about it. This one I wrote with my little brother. He's an astronomer at JPL.
Oh.
And I used to call him Heathy Bean when he was little. So this is Sir Heathy Bean, the astronomer. And he picked this character. He's all dressed up with the crazy hair and the white jacket, and he had bunny slippers on. But each month is a new planet with 7 facts. And so say you like Saturn, then you go learn more about Saturn. And then this one, I do a lot of things with Story Monster magazine. I write book reviews for them. I judge some of their literary contests, do a lot of events with them in Tempe, Arizona. And so I sell a lot of these books when I go there, because people are going to come to California and take a trip up the coast. Yeah. So this book is about the coast. So it talks all about tide pools and caverns and everything you're going to see if you travel up the coast.
Okay.
And so, you know, people like to buy that for that one. This one is on Alaska, and it has glaciers and whales. Mm-hmm. And we kayak to the glaciers, and it has the Aurora Borealis. So almost everything in my books I've done. I kind of have a rule that I have to do it before I can write about it.
Yes, absolutely.
So, and then
we know experiences can lead to so much more, you know, for books, and especially with our young writers that are trying to think of stories that they can write about. You know, I have often told students that, and you know, some of our readers, that they can go ahead and write about the things that may be happening around them, even though they may be home for a while, you know, with what we've had to go through, but they can find
the best stories are going to come from this.
Yes, absolutely. They can find so many stories and so much excitement through all of this.
There's going to be there's already a lot of books that people have written about what's happening, to explain, you know, I've given some of them to our students, to my students, you know, and their families, to help explain it. So yeah, there's going to be some good stories coming out of this.
Yes, and we see that, you know, you have those great stories out of your books, and we will definitely put the description. If you look below, you'll be able to see how you can get Dr. Menge's books and the series, and learn more about what she has to come as well. So Dr. Menge, you know, we always have, at the end of our show, we ask, what was a book that you had when you were growing up that inspired you? So do you have a book that has inspired you?
When I was growing up, I had trouble reading, and my dad sat down with me, I think it was in the 3rd grade, every night and read with me. So once I started to be able to read really well, I loved reading. I read all of the time. When I was growing up, I loved Nancy Drew, The Boxcar Children, The Outsiders, of course. And then it became like Stephen King.
Wow.
I love those kind of movies, which is kind of strange what I do, you know, in my life. But for a while there, when my children were growing up, I read a lot of romance books because I was at home, you know. So just, I think what inspired me was just the struggle of learning to read and wanting children to have something that interests them, and I want them to want to go out and explore and be excited, and like there's all these things out in the world, you know, like you can go to Hawaii and they have a seahorse, like a sanctuary, and you can go and have a seahorse wrap its little tail around your finger.
Oh, wow.
Last year I went and they have an octopus place, and I took my grandson, and the octopus like squirted his face and was coming out of the thing and grabbing us, and you know, just there's so many experiences out there, and sometimes the children don't have any experiences. Yeah. You know, like my new book is, we took the train from Williams, Arizona to the Grand Canyon. There was 19 of us, our family, and that book's coming out in a couple weeks. And it's full of what it's like to ride a train. And then we took the Polar Express. So it's called Queen Vernita's Magical Christmas Train Ride. And it's pre-K to 1st grade. Yes. And then the next one I'm working on is, we go every year and we go camping at Halama Beach. It's up the coast of California. And so that's the one she's working on now. It's going to be pre-K to 1st grade, but it's going to be kite flying and s'mores making and
Yes.
sandcastle building. And there's an ostrich farm there we went to. And just last week I went down and I saw the red tide. Tonight I'm going to go try to see the
Bioluminescence. Yes.
So I'm going to try to see that tonight. But
Okay.
it's all about getting out there and camping and just exploring the world. That's
Yes,
what I want.
absolutely. And, your inspiration behind writing, your books, and even telling of the struggles that you had with reading, and now you've become this author that is winning awards. Who would have known that when you were in the third grade having trouble to read, that you would have gone and done this. So it goes to show our little listeners out there that you too can go ahead and write about your adventures.
Yes.
And even if you are struggling to read right now, this is why we love this show, so that you can read along with our authors. And Dr. Menge, we thank you so much for coming on with us, and we thank you for introducing us to your series and Queen Vernita. And we would love to have you back anytime. So, of course, I will be back in contact with you. And for our listeners and our watchers today, thank you so much for joining us for another Read with Carylee show at home, where we will continue to bring you amazing authors from around the world. And remember, as always, even if it seems like you may be struggling sometimes, grab a book and read. You don't know where those adventures may take you. Have a great day.
We're reading with Carylee.
Thanks for watching another amazing episode of the Read with Carylee show. We have amazing authors coming by every week. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below. You don't want to miss a thing.